Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome to Your Health is Well on Inspire 105.1 FM, and I'm your host, Sister Shagufta. I pray that you're in the best of health and iman. So firstly, I'd like to say welcome to the show, and I pray that you are enjoying the weather and also making sure that you are keeping safe and staying out direct sunlight between the hours of uh, 11 and 3 p.m. Or make sure that you are walking, try and find some shady spots if you can. Keep children safe as well, keep yourself hydrated as well. And just do be aware if you're traveling, look at the length, time, journey, and make sure you know that you have got enough fluid with you. And also just check out the NHS website. So that's the nhs.uk website where you can check signs for heat exhaustion or heat stroke. So just in case you don't know, I'll give you the signs of heat exhaustion are tiredness, dizziness, headache, feeling sick or being sick, excessive sweating and skin becoming pale or clammy, or getting heat rash. But a change in skin colour can also be harder to see on brown and black skin. So bear that in mind. Getting cramps in the arm, legs, and stomach, fast breathing or heartbeat, a high temperature, being very thirsty, and also weakness. So the symptoms of heat exhaustion are often the same in adults and children, although children may become more irritable as well. So if someone is showing signs of heat exhaustion, they need to be cooled down and given fluids. The things you can do to cool someone down, there's 4 steps. Just move them to a cool place, remove all unnecessary clothing like a jacket, socks. Number 3, give them drinks, sports, drink or rehydration drink or cool water. Cool their skin, you can spray or sponge them with cool water and fan. Cold packs are good, wrap them in cloth and put it under the armpits, with the neck area is good as well, and stay with them until they're better. They should start cooling down and feel better within 30 minutes. Now, the time to call 111 is if you or someone else have symptoms of heat exhaustion that you're struggling to treat or you need advice about. So you can call 111 for that. Now, to call 999 in an emergency if you or someone else have signs of heat stroke. Okay, so heat stroke is this, where you're still unwell after 30 minutes of resting in a cool place, given fluid, cold fluid to drink. You still have a very high temperature, you have hot skin, but you're not sweating, but it might look red. Again, it might be more difficult to see on brown or black skin. You've got really fast heartbeat, the breathing really fast with shortness of breath, confusion, lack of coordination, even like a seizure or fit or loss of consciousness. So make sure if that happens, you put the person in a recovery position if they lose consciousness while you're waiting for help. So that's something you need to be mindful of. So you can prevent heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So just drink more fluids, wear light coloured loose clothing, avoid the sun between 11 and 3, avoid excess alcohol and things like that, extreme exercise. If you're inside on a very hot day, close your curtains as well, and turn off electrical equipment as well, and make sure there's no lights on as well. So, this will prevent dehydration as well. Children and older people with long-term health conditions such as diabetes or heart problems are at more risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So just be mindful of that. So obviously that was something really important I wanted to get out there. But the topic for today is about sleep and the importance of sleep. So just understand that I will be speaking about the evidence-based sleep, and also going to talk about sleep from an Islamic perspective as well, inshallah. So, just to let you know, we spend approximately a third of our lives asleep. Yes, sleep is essential and involuntary process. without which we can't really function effectively. So it's also essential for our body, like when we're eating, drinking, and breathing. It's vital for maintaining good mental and physical health. Sleep also helps to repair and restore our brain and not just our bodies. And during sleep, we can process information and consolidate memories, undergo a number of maintenance processes that help us to function during the daytime. So one thing I need to ensure that you're aware, sleep is essential for physical and mental well-being with various functions that contribute to overall health. The sleep cycle, including REM, which is rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement stages, repeats several times throughout the night. Adequate sleep during, the duration varies by age. So adults generally need around 7 hours per night, and insufficient sleep can result in poor focus, reduced cognition, delayed reactions, mood swings, and a higher risk for illness. So sleep is essential. It's an essential function. As I said, it allows the body and mind to recharge, leaving you refreshed and alert when you wake up. Healthy sleep also helps the body remain healthy and stave off diseases. Now, without enough sleep, the brain cannot function properly. Okay, so why am I doing this show is because I hear and see people who have sleep problems and wonder why there's other problems, a dominant effect because of the lack of sleep or not getting enough sleep, and not truly understanding the consequence of not sleeping on time. Okay, so this is why it's really important that if you can try and focus, and hopefully if you're not sleeping well, you will after this. And if you are sleeping well, someone isn't, then let them know as well about this. So remember, without enough sleep, your brain cannot function properly, and this can impair your ability to concentrate, think clearly, and process memories as well. As I said, most adults need around 7 hours of nightly sleep. Children and teenagers need a little bit more sleep, particularly if they're younger than 5 years of age. Work schedules, day-to-day stresses, disruptive bedroom environment, medical conditions, shift work can all prevent us from receiving enough sleep. A healthy diet and positive lifestyle habits can actually help ensure adequate amounts of sleep each night. But for some, chronic lack of sleep, chronic meaning ongoing long term, may be the first sign of a sleep disorder. Okay? So the science behind sleep. An internal body clock regulates your sleep cycle, controlling when you feel tired and ready for bed or refreshed and alert. So this clock operates on a 24-hour cycle known as a circadian rhythm. After waking up from sleep, you will become increasingly tired throughout the day. These feelings will peak in the evening leading to bedtime. This sleep drive, also known as sleep-wake homeostasis, may be linked to adenosine, an organic compound produced in the brain. Adenosine levels increase throughout the day as you become more tired, and then the body breaks down this compound during sleep. Light also influences the circadian rhythm. So the brain contains a special region of nerve cells known as the hypothalamus and a cluster of cells in the hypothalamus which processes signals when the eyes are exposed to natural light or artificial light. So these signals help the brain determine whether it's day or night. So that is another thing when you have your blue light, your phones and laptops and television. So that's where that comes in, where you hear people say you should not look at your phone at least up 2 hours before bedtime. So natural light, when it disappears in the evening, the body will release melatonin. This is a hormone that induces drowsiness. So when the sun rises in the morning, the body releases the hormone known as cortisol that promotes energy and alertness. So remember, at night time, you release melatonin for drowsiness, and in the morning, during Fajr sunrise, you will release hormone called cortisol that promotes energy and alertness. So you might hear about cortisol and stress. Now there's a time and place for cortisol, and this time it is good to have this, okay, in the correct amount. So the stages of sleep. So once we fall asleep, our bodies follow the sleep cycle divided in 4 stages, okay? So stage one, this is the first stage. It's a transition between wakefulness and sleep. It consists of light sleep, your muscles relax, your heart rate, breathing, they all kind of like slow down. As do your brain waves, which are more active when you're awake. Stage one typically lasts around 7 minutes. Stage two, so it's non-REM, so non-rapid movement. So this sleep stage is characterized by deeper sleep as your heart rate and breathing rates continue to slow down and the muscles become more relaxed. Eye movements will actually cease and your body temperature will decrease. Apart from some brief moments of higher frequency electrical activity, your brain waves also remain slow. Stage two is typically the longest of the 4 sleep stages. Now, stage three, this is a really important part in making you feel refreshed and alert the next day. Heartbeat, breathing, brainwave activity will reach the lowest levels and the muscles are relaxed as they will be. And this stage will be longer at first and decrease in duration throughout the night. REM, rapid eye movement. So the first stage will occur about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. As the name suggests, your eyes will move back or really quickly under your eyelids. Your breathing rate, heart rate, and blood pressure will begin to increase. So dreaming will typically occur during rapid eye movement sleep, or REM, and your arms and legs may become paralyzed. It's believed this is intended to prevent you from physically acting out on your dreams. So the duration of REM cycle increases as the night progresses, and numerous studies have also linked REM sleep to memory consolidation, so the process of converting recently learned experiences into long-term memory. So the duration of REM state will decrease as you age, causing you to spend more time in the non-rapid eye movement stage. So these 4 stages will repeat cyclically throughout the night, and for most people, the duration of each cycle is around 90 to 120 minutes. Non-REM sleep constitutes for about 70 to 80% of each cycle. So you'll also wake up briefly during the night, but not remember the next day. These are known as W stages as well. How much sleep do people need? Now, an infant between 4 to 12 months needs around 12 to 16 hours per day. Toddler between 1 and 2 needs 11 to 14 hours a day of sleep. Preschool between 3 and 5, they need around 10 to 13 hours a day. School age between 6 and 12, they need 9 to 12 hours a day. A teenager between 13 and 18 needs around 8 to 10 hours. And an adult 18 years and older, 7 hours or more. So the importance of getting enough sleep. Now for most adults, at least 7 hours of sleep each night is needed for proper cognitive and behavioral functions. And insufficient amount of sleep can lead to serious repercussions. And some studies have shown that sleep deprivation leaves people vulnerable to attention lapse, reduced cognition, delayed reaction, and mood shifts. So if you're working in a factory or you're driving, things like that, at work, it can cause actually serious harm if you are driving and you're not getting enough sleep, or you're under control of any machinery, then it can definitely impact you, and it can be dangerous. So this is why it's really important to get adequate amounts of sleep. It's also been suggested that people can develop a sort of tolerance to chronic sleep deprivation. So nothing will happen to you. So used to it that you won't feel tired at 12, 1, 2 a.m. because you're so used to it. Even though their brains and bodies struggle due to a lack of sleep, they may not be aware of their own deficiencies because less sleep feels normal to them now. Additionally, lack of sleep has also been linked to a higher risk of certain diseases and medical conditions, and this includes obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, poor mental health, and early death. So adults who do not receive a sufficient amount of sleep each night can implement some positive lifestyle and sleep habits in order to log the needed 7 hours. So this is what you can do. Establish a realistic bedtime and stick to it every night, even on weekends. Maintain comfortable temperature settings and low light levels in your bedroom. Um, maintain Keep a comfortable sleep environment, ensuring that you have good mattresses, good pillows, and bed sheets are our preference to you. And if you've got something that's causing you becoming itchy and comfortable, then you need to change it. Check also what you're washing your items with as well, because it may be causing you irritation. So try and help yourself so you are able to get good sleep. Consider a screen ban, as I've said, on television, computers, tablets, mobile phones, any electronic devices, at least 2 hours before you go to sleep, and make that, you need to make that habit. You need to be um, consistent in that. So don't just do it for a few days and then go back, because in order for you to build up a habit, you need to do it for at least 21 days and then continue for another 10 days and then keep doing it, then you will be able to do that. Abstaining from caffeine, alcohol, large meals, especially coming up to your bedtime. And just to note, caffeine, if you have coffee, anything with caffeine, it can stay in your system for up to 8 hours. So if you do want your coffee, make sure it's well before the 8 hours of you going to sleep. Refrain from using tobacco at any time, day or night. Exercise during the day because this can help you wind down in the evening as well. So some of you may have heard or not heard of sleep hygiene. So sleep hygiene refers to both your sleep environment and behaviour. Poor sleep hygiene can negatively impact both sleep quantity and quality. Good sleep hygiene includes setting a strict sleep schedule, following a bedtime routine, forming healthy habits, and optimizing the bedroom for sleep. Sleep hygiene alone doesn't cure sleeping problems, so if you are having consistent sleep problems, then you do need to speak to your doctor who can recommend the best treatment for you. Paying attention to sleep hygiene is one of the most straightforward ways that you can set yourself up for better sleep. Strong sleep hygiene means having both a bedroom environment and daily routines that promote consistent, uninterrupted sleep. Keeping a stable sleep schedule, also making your bedroom comfortable, free of disruptions, and following a relaxing pre-bed routine, building healthy habits during the day can all contribute to ideal sleep hygiene. Every sleeper can tailor their sleep hygiene practices to suit their own needs, but in the process you can harness positive habits to make it easier to sleep sound throughout the night and wake up well rested. As I've said, having good sleep hygiene is really important for your physical and mental health. It improves your productivity and quality of life. Okay, research has demonstrated that forming good habits is a central part of health. So, crafting sustainable, beneficial routines can make healthy behaviors feel more automatic, creating ongoing process of positive reinforcement. But bad habits can become ingrained even as they cause negative consequences. So, you can always reverse it. And sleep hygiene, as I said, it's the environment and the habits that can help you. Improving sleep hygiene has little cost and no risk, to make it part of your everyday process. Having a hard time falling asleep, experiencing frequent sleep disturbances, suffering daytime sleepiness are telling signs of poor sleep hygiene. Okay, um, so you should really have a fixed wake up time. That's weekday and weekends, prioritize your sleep. So your work, study, socialize, exercise is, so that you are prioritizing, if you can, your sleep. I know if you're working night shifts and things like that, it's slightly difficult to do this, but you can still try and focus on that. Make gradual adjustments. So make sure you just don't start, sweeping back. If you've been sleeping at 12, don't start sleeping at 10 because it will be a bit difficult. Maybe try 11:30 for a week, and then 11, and so forth, another week. And don't overdo with naps. Your midday siesta. It's also a sunnah to sleep for around 20 minutes. If you are working from home and it's your break time, then maybe you can have a nap for 15 minutes. It's called a power nap. It really does help. I also want to remind you and the listeners that there is a sleep charity, literally called the Sleep Charity, and their website is thesleepcharity.org.uk, and the National Sleep Helpline number is 03303 530 541. That's 03303 530 541, and you can actually get involved and learn so much about sleep and the charity and how they help, and you can get all sorts of advice from them as well. They've got amazing things because they tell you how sleep helps with your brain and the function and memory and so much more. I would definitely visit that website. So I just want to talk a bit about what Islam has to say about sleep. So sleep medicine is a new scientific speciality, but sleep is an important topic in Islamic literature and the Quran and Hadith, as they discuss types of sleep, the importance of sleep, and good sleep practices. And Islam considers sleep as one of the signs of greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and encourages followers to explore the important sign. The Quran describes different types of sleep, and these correspond with the sleep stages identified by modern science. Okay, the Quran discusses the beneficial effects of sleep and emphasizes the importance of maintaining a pattern of light and darkness. A midday nap is important practice for Muslims, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, promoted naps as beneficial. In accordance with the practice and instructions of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Muslims have certain sleep habits, and these sleep habits correspond to some of the sleep hygiene rules identified by modern science. So during sleep, this includes sleep position, like encouraging sleeping on the right side, discouraging sleep in the prone position or on the stomach, for example. There's hadith to actually say not to sleep on your stomach. Dream interpretation is also something quite important. So just to let you know, Islam has great interest in sleep, and sleep is considered, as I said, one of the great signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sleep is mentioned frequently in the Quran. For example, a well-known verse says, "And among his signs is your sleep by night and by day, and your seeking of his bounty. Verily, in that are signs for those who hear." And this is also mentioned in the verse 30:23. So Islam has clear instructions and guidance for followers about the nature of good sleep. Also, sinner, this word has been defined as slumber or dozing off, and this also talks about stage one. And then you have Mu'as as well. One of the verses says, "Remember when he covered you with slumber," Mu'as, and this is in verse 8:11. This describes the fear and stress of the believers during the Battle of Badr. Okay, and then there's Ruku, and this word has been given several interpretations, and the most appropriate definition is sleep for a long period. And there is also Hawju and Subat. There are different words for sleep. Modern sleep scientists believe that sleep deprivation and all of these things can cause concentration, memory, mood, and these problems. Islam emphasizes the importance of getting enough sleep. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, in Sahih al-Bukhari has said, If any one of you feels drowsy while praying, then he or she should go to sleep till the slumber is over. Okay, so just remember your body has rights over you as well. So that's the importance that I wanted to make sure that you're aware. Early bedtime and early wake up time. This is the sunnah of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. Performing wudu before sleep and dusting and cleaning the bed before sleep. These are all part of what the Prophet, peace be upon him, did as well. I would like to cover this again, inshallah, next week with more detail of how and what the Prophet, peace be upon him, did. So part 2 is going to be next week. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The messenger of God, peace be upon him, said, O Muslim women, let no neighbor consider anything too insignificant to give to her neighbor, even if it be a sheep's trotter.
Narrated by Abu Hurairah in the collection of Bukhari and Muslim.